different meditation techniques or reasons to meditate.
They had toxic back then. They were cleaning the system out during the days of the pharaohs, okay?
Because God has a plan for both of you.
And I can have a baby and I can raise a child without you. That's kind of a shot at the male spirit.
Happy Friday and welcome to Out of Town. And it looks like my mic is muted and now Christ. Hello. Now I can say hello. Mic is unmuted. It's like I'm on Zoom and you're talking and people are like, you're on mute. You're on mute. You would think I know that by now. Well, hello and welcome to Friday's conversation series for the I Am That Woman movement. And we are women on the move. What's up, sisters? I hope you are having a blessed Friday. Welcome to August. It's August the 11th, 2023. And we thank God for another day that he has made, that truly we can rejoice and be glad in this day. Can you believe it's already August? The time is flying. Do you hear me? But I thank God because I'm blessed, and I hope and pray, hello, Crystal, that you too are feeling blessed today. I welcome you to the show. I welcome you to the I Am That Woman conversation series. I am Twyla Jenkins, the founder and CEO of the I Am That Woman movement. And what might you say is the I Am That Woman movement? Well, we are a health and wellness movement for high achieving African American women. And you know what? Every single woman out there is high achieving, no matter what you are doing. A stay-at-home mom, teacher, professor, lawyer, doctor, entrepreneur, C-suite executive, climbing the corporate ladder, you are high achieving. So we welcome you to the show. And what do? We welcome you here because we are a sisterhood for your mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, and physical well-being. We provide you with information, resources, and events like the I Am That Woman retreat that is coming up in October to help you live your best life more holistically. We know that life creates so many stressors and pressures and anxieties and worries, but not over here. We learn how to deal with all of those things. We learn how to navigate through life to be the best that God has created us to be. We empower you, we strengthen you, we encourage you, and we help you move to your next. I am super excited about today's show because I have the one and the only Eyvette Jones Johnson. And you might say, well, who is that, Twyla? Let me tell you, first of all, she's going to be one of our most powerful speakers at this year's I Am That Woman retreat. And secondly, she is like a master motivator. I mean, she has a phenomenal story from going from corporate America to a social entrepreneur, helping those on Skid Row to turn their lives around. So, if she can be out in LA, helping those who are at the bottom of the bottom to come on up and rise and to become their best, you know that she's going to be doing some empowering things at the I Am That Woman retreat in October. Now, I know I'm the founder, I know I'm the CEO, and I know that you guys hear me talk about how amazing this retreat is. But I want you to look at this promo video so you know for yourself. And we'll even share some testimonials from women who have attended in the past as we go throughout this show. So don't take my word for it. Take a look at this and decide for yourself. All all right. I know that you've seen that video before, and every time I watch it, I'm psyched all over again. So I hope today's conversation with Eyvette Jones Johnson is also going to incite you and inspire you to come to this year's I Am That Woman retreat. It's going to be October 25th through the 29th. We're going to Scottsdale, Arizona. We're going to a piece of Paradise Valley, and it's going to be an amazing 5-day, 4-night retreat. Again, focused on your mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, and physical well-being. Where else can you go? That's our differentiator. We don't leave anything on the table. We go through self-discovery, self-love, self-esteem. We build you up so that you can soar to your next. Without further ado, I'm bringing my sister on to the stage, the one and only Eyvette Jones Johnson. Hey, sister.
Okay, now you can see me, right? Well, I am so excited for this conference. You know, there is an opportunity to immerse yourself in the things that make transformation possible, right? So there's a new us waiting on the other side of this, and all you got to do is sign up. I'm sorry.
That's it. That's all you got to do is sign up. But before we go down that road too much, Eyvette, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, my purpose, my passion, and my mission is to empower people who want to create positive change and to give them some tools to do that with joy, to do it with wholeness, to do it with power. Because I'm sorry. Okay, can you see me now?
Yes.
But, okay, and to do that with power, right? Because success is an inside job. And so that's what we want to delve into. We come here with superpowers. It's inside of us. It's part of us, just like the nose on your face. But if you don't know that it's there, I keep sliding. Okay. If you don't know that it's there, how do you activate it? How do you access it? How do you live into the higher expression of yourself if you don't have the tools? So that is my jam. That is my mission, my purpose, that people who want to create change or are creating change, that I give them tools to be able to do that in a powerful way. So you're not doing that full of stress. You're not doing it exhausted.
Yes.
You're not doing it feeling like you're pulling a lot of stuff behind you, like you are, so overburdened. Because when you try to live into your passion or create change from that place, you do yourself and your vision a disservice. Because the best way to create change is to do it from a whole place, right? From a passionate place. And so we're going to go through some practices, not just conversation, but actual practices that attendees can get into their bodies, get into their nervous systems, and take home with them so that immediately they can begin to continue accessing the power that we're going to access at this retreat. And the great thing about it is we're going to do it with joy. We're going to have some practices that are going to make you belly laugh, that are going to deepen the sisterhood that's available there, that is really going to show you the magic within yourself. It's not me telling you. We're going to do practices so you can show yourself how amazing you are, because you're unrepeatable. There's only one you ever going to be. So, let's live into our highest expression. And to do that, though, you're going to need new information, and that's what's available at this retreat.
I love it. Oh my gosh. I love when God just sends divine assignments. That's why I know this is such a divine assignment. We just met. I mean, we're kindred spirits, but we literally
Yes, we
just met
are.
at the Rainbow Punch Coalition conference. You were just telling me that you had just came back from a retreat, and we connected in such a powerful way. I just got that drop, that divine drop, like, oh, this is one. Oh, you have to reconnect with this sister. Oh, you got to hear
Right.
more about what she has to say. And that right there, that probably 30-second elevator pitch that you just did is the meat and potatoes of the I Am That Woman retreat. What I say now, Eyvette, more than anything, is we have to learn to live. As Black women, we have learned to nurture. We have learned to take care of everyone else. We have learned to work hard. We have learned to do things, with an expectation of it's going to come with stress and anxiety because, that's just life. But we have not learned to live in our superpower with joy. We have not learned to live in our divine, innate, beautiful beings that we are, with happiness, and that we can move in. It doesn't mean that every day is a bed of roses, but we have the tools that you're going to give us to make more better days than there are worse days. But how did you get here? Because you haven't always been doing what you're doing. You used to be in corporate America.
Yeah, I was a network television producer for 15 years. So
Wow.
that was ABC, NBC. Somebody introduced me recently and said all the C's, right? CBS, all the rest of them. I worked in syndicated television. And from there, I did a story that changed my life, right? I mean, I'm from the South Side of Chicago. I'm talking to you from the South Side of Chicago right now. So I'm an inner city girl. But when I did this story, it just activated so much in me. It was the last year, I believe, of the Essence Awards. And Susan Taylor and her team asked me to do a roll-in tape piece that was the centerpiece of the show. And she really wanted to make a statement. And so I did that piece. And it was about 4 women whose children had been murdered in different parts of the country. Black women, all good kids. Their crime was geography, right? Wrong place, wrong time. And so these women and I became connected in a very spiritual way. And some of the things I saw when I did that story, it was just, for me, unacceptable anymore for Black men and women not to know their power, their beauty, that everybody comes here for a reason. God makes no mistakes.
Wow.
You are here to deliver something amazing, but sometimes in our communities, in the living of life, then that can get buried, or you feel like it's buried and you don't have access to it anymore. So you and I are here to wake that up, because this is the time where we need people in their full power, in their full expression. And so for me, it was just no longer acceptable that we had such low expectations for ourselves, and that the world had such low expectations for us. But there's evidence all around us of transformation, of how you come from something and use that as a stepping stone to be magnificent. And
Yes.
so that's what I decided to dedicate my life to.
Wow.
And so I left television. People thought I was nuts, but I left television. And my husband, Craig, and I started a nonprofit on Skid Row in Los Angeles called Urban Possibilities, because we wanted people to leave there living into the possibilities that they can be, right? Not the limiting beliefs and narratives that so many of us carry around. So for 12 years, we did that. I created a curriculum. Hundreds of homeless men and women went through that program, and the results were miraculous. But
Wow.
here's the deal. I did that through prayer and following what I was compelled to do,
Mm.
right? So my prayer, which my late minister was Della Reese, and she said, when you pray, use me, you better strap in because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is the truth. But in that ride, you are transformed when you walk into your purpose. So my life as a television producer was cool. I loved it at the time, but my life now is unrecognizable in the best way. And so when you get that, when you get those tools, when you understand how to help people live into their higher selves, you want to share it everywhere.
Yes.
And so that's my mission. And now I do it primarily with change makers, people who want to make a positive change. So that could be on your job, in your household, that could be social justice. But if you want to intentionally create change, then I'm your girl, I'm your advocate, I've got your back. But you got to get some information along the way so that you can live into your higher self, because you can't be something new doing the old stuff.
Come on now.
If you want to keep getting what you're getting, keep doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so this retreat and times when we gather like this is a time to get poured into.
Yes.
Right? In an immersive way, not a webinar for an hour and then you go back to your job and your stress or picking up the kids. This is an immersive experience. It is a privilege, right? Because once upon a time, it was illegal for us to gather.
Yes.
So now we do that, and we can do that with our highest interest at the center of it all, with our wholeness at the center of it all. So I did Urban Possibilities for my husband and I and our team. It was amazing. It was miraculous. I was changed, right? We had hundreds of people who went from sleeping on the streets to opening businesses, getting bachelor's degrees, master's degrees. I mean, people returning to their families as the breadwinner, right? And here's the beauty. People going back to Skid Row, getting some skills, going back to Skid Row to work, right? So drug addicts becoming drug and alcohol counselors and going to help the population that they were once a part of, right? It's so powerful, but that's where the genesis of this work came from, right? So it was really, so you have people with the highest stress you can imagine. You know, at the time I was doing it, one of the fastest growing homeless populations was women with children. And at the time, 7 out of 10 women on the street were getting attacked. So you got that with your kids, right? But my approach really was that success begins within. So if we start to rewire and gain information and gain tools that can change us from the inside out, I'm telling you, we are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. And so that's what I want to share, these practices I've learned. Part of what we did in Urban Possibilities on Skid Row was we had a lot of practices that we do. But part of it was also creative writing. And then we created theater performances where our students were the stars, right? And there is something special when you live beyond what you think you can do.
Come on.
When you live beyond what you think you can do, it gives you access to a whole nother realm. And that's what we want. I want to show folks, and we're going to have fun while we're doing it, but I want to show them that there's a narrative that we have about ourselves.
Yes.
And we create it. We're the meaning makers. We create it. But we can change that narrative. And our personal narratives, our internal narratives, those guide everything. What you think you can do, what you think you can't do, how you interact with people, the choices you make. It's all of it. All of it. So that narrative is key. And it's key because that's how human beings make sense of the world. We make sense of it through story. And that's part of what I had an aha moment in 15 years of television. I saw that the stories that I was putting on the air and my colleagues were how that would shape public opinion, right? How that would change people's view of themselves. But it's based on your narrative. So now as part of my practice, I also teach narrative intelligence, which is that internal story that sometimes we put a ceiling on what's possible for ourselves to protect ourselves or because certain things happened in our lives. So we create a story about it and then we live into that story. So for me, that's one part, a key part of narrative intelligence. The other part is once you find your voice and you're ready to let it ring out in the world, how do you make your messages stick? How do you connect with an audience so that after you're done, the key points are there, not just in their heads, but in their hearts? And so narrative intelligence is part of the practice. Wellness techniques, you got to do that for wholeness. But my wellness techniques are really for people who say they're too busy, right? So I want to show them very easy ways that you can start to tap into those superpowers that God has given us to live extraordinary lives that are in there dormant because we say we don't have enough time. So these are quick things that you can do and things you can do throughout the day to bring you back to that sense of wholeness and who you are. And then the last part of what I do is performance, right? There is something magical and transformational that happens when people share and give from a stage.
Yes.
And so I want people to experience that. And also, so that's the giver, the person on the stage. But as the audience, there's a part you play in receiving. So we want to experience that too. So I'm really about embodied practice, which means not having conversation about it, yes, but doing it, feeling it, getting it in your nervous system so that then it is yours. You're not trying to figure out how to do it. You already learned how to do it. And then the last part is community. So there's a lot of talk these days about social fitness and how that impacts your body and your longevity, which is the quality of your relationships, how your relationships support you, what kind of juice you get out of those relationships, and paying attention to that. So in this kind of setting, just think you have a sisterhood that you are walking into.
Yes.
That are seekers like you are at different stages, who have purpose and power in them. And when we gather together, it is magnified. And
Yes.
something special happens that can only happen in those spaces, right?
Yes.
Can't get it online, right? Can't get it in a webinar. It
Nope.
is being immersed with your sisters
Yes.
in a process where we all have the intention to grow together. I'm telling you, magic shows up. And so I'm really excited to be a part of it.
I am super excited about you taking us through that most amazing, powerful, transformational. And what I love about the retreat too is it is transformational work. Just
Yep.
like you were talking about how those individuals on Skid Row decided to do the work and then go back to school, start businesses, go back, return to the community to be healers and nurturers. And the same thing happens with the women who come to this retreat because it is about finding your next. And oftentimes we're struggling with getting to our next because we don't know the tools that we need and how to apply them. And so I hear women, they call me, they text me, they email me, Twyler, I left the retreat and I signed up for my master's classes. I started writing my book. I decided to run for office. I finally launched that business that that's been holding me back. And I have been saying, I don't have time. It's too late. I can't do it. You know, all of the excuses that they were giving themselves. So Eyvette, the work that you're going to do is it's a culmination of what the retreat does. And that's why I know that God sends the right people. It's amazing that I honestly do not Google people. I do not look at people's social media following. I get all kinds of advice on who should come and where they need to come from and what type of background they need to have. But when you allow God to do his work, he will send who he needs to send to do his work. I can't put this together on Google. I can't. This is not AI. This is God, because everything that you just said is exemplary of why this was launched in 2018. We share a mentor, and that is the one and only Dr. Mrs. Reverend Jacqueline Jackson.
Absolutely.
That beautiful woman, that beautiful spirit, that empowering woman is the one who encouraged me and told me that there is a certain power, that power that you talked about, that happens when you get us in the room and we talk to each other and we pour into each other and we learn from each other. And then she said, Twyler, it's just amazing. And I witnessed that. And while sometimes I am having those moments where I got to take those deep breaths and do those practices, because you can't look at it from the natural eye. I mean, I know that this retreat is going to sell out. I have no doubt in my mind. But if I look at the numbers right now, it will have me in fret and in fear. But when you're operating in faith, so for the woman out there who the enemy wants to trick you into looking at whatever you're dealing with from the natural eye, but your faith is propelling you forward, I just encourage you to keep the faith, because it's conversations like these, Eyvette, and your email yesterday. When I was having one of those moments, it was your email yesterday that said,
well, can I say something about that email yesterday?
Yes.
So I was working on something, and sometimes it's not a whole burning bush, right? It's a thought that's a strong thought that compels you, right? And I'm such a believer in that, because that has taken me to places I never thought I'd be. And I was working on something else, and I had that thought so strongly. My natural inclination was to act, and it was to send you that email. So it was to stop what I was doing, send that real quick, and then go back to what I was doing, right?
Wow.
Because here's the other thing that I have learned for sure, and that is when you surrender your fears and your frets and your I can'ts and your negative story to something bigger than yourself, being a vessel for something bigger than yourself, it's amazing what starts to pour in, right? Synchronicity happens. We meet each other at the same place at the same time, right? End up sitting together for the vice president's speech. Like, you know, out of all hundreds of people there.
Yes.
But the thing is, you have to act on those things.
Yes. Yes.
So for me, for many years, I lived in someday, one day. That's what I call it when I worked in television. You know, I would come home after a rough day, maybe not the show I wanted to do, but needed to do, right? To pay my bills. And I would come home and I would say, you know, someday I'm going to start a nonprofit and one day right?
Yes.
And then I kept someday and one day, and then it was a year. Then it was 3 years. Then it was 5 years, right? So when you take that step, like one of the other stories that Della Reese used to say is that she said the sea didn't part, the Red Sea didn't part until he put his foot out in it. So you cannot get that magic from the shore just looking at the water. You got to put your foot out in it. And so that's what you've done in a huge way. Like my thing is hanging out with women who have vision. Like there is something that expands me in such a big way that creates an energy of momentum in my life, which is when you said, those women said, I went back and I did this and I ran for office, because that sisterhood, it has power and it creates a momentum for you that you can carry into your life, but you got to step out in it. You can't someday, one day it. Right? And even if you are someday, one daying it, come to this retreat and let us help you.
Yes.
Right? Help you put your foot out in it. Help you live into the vision that you have, that you're putting off someday, one day. Make that someday, one day now. And be in a community that's seeking the same. Some who are already doing the same. Right? Some that have connections that you need to do that vision in your head. So I work a lot with people who are change makers, right? For the last year and a half, I've been teaching at a seminary to seminarians and those getting their master's degrees. Some have PhDs. I teach nonprofit leaders because I was one. And the reason I am so steeped in this work is because I know what it is to get fried. My passion burnt me up.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? My passion caused me physical problems. And that's what people don't often talk about, right? They talk about the passion and it's very aspirational. But the true thing is, to be able to do what you do and not be stressed out, right? Yeah. Not diminish yourself by the load that you are carrying.
Yes.
So that you can live into your vision and have lift off. So usually you have a vision, you step out in it, you have that initial excitement, then the real work begins. Then sometimes opposition comes, challenges come.
Woo, girl.
You got to play that dragon. You got to swim that moat. You got to run that race. And
Yes,
because our visions drive us so, or our missions or our callings drive us so, we feel there's so much at stake that we just put our head down and keep going. Keep rolling that boulder up a hill, because that's how it feels when you're not whole, when you're not connected, mind, body, and soul.
Yes.
So that's my mission, is that we be as powerful as we are intended to be. And that we have some practices, some tools to help us get there.
And we need it now more than ever, because with microaggression, with what's going on in politics, Black women are being attacked on every hand and every side. Next year, we're going to be working on a campaign about protect Black women, because there's just so much that's working against us that we do have to have a sisterhood, just like the fight that broke out in Alabama. Now, y'all know I had to slide it into the show somewhere. We have to come together, and we have to be able to protect our sisterhood, just like all those men and women. I was talking to one of our board members yesterday, and she said, you know, they were talking about there was more women who had kind of joined the fight in Alabama than men. And I said, you know, we're tired. You know, we get, Black women get beat up all the time.
Yes, we do.
And we even get beat up by our own men. And so we have to come together in this sisterhood to affirm each other and to be supportive of each other, to pour into each other, and also to forgive ourselves, because I'm sure in this work, Eyvette, you have had to help men and women, and especially women, to forgive themselves of those past hurts, pains, traumas, and dramas, and all the things that life can sometimes create that false narrative. Whether you have been molested as a child, raped, whether you have been homeless, whether you have been abandoned by parents at an early age, in a domestic violence marriage or relationship, no matter what your story is, there are tools in therapy and resources and counseling to help you to change that narrative into something positive and beautiful. I should make the butterfly our symbol, because that's exactly the transformational work that we are doing at this retreat. So all you got to do is come ready. I posted something today. I should have put the image up. I might try and see if I can share it real quick, but I posted something today. I had my project coordinator, Diamante, to create this image of what we invest in. And we as Black women are one of the biggest consumers. We know that the African-American community spends trillions of dollars consuming products and consuming everything from, you know, hair products and makeup and shoes and purses. And so, you know, sometimes people talk about the investment and the cost of attending this retreat. And what I said and what we created was an image that's on our social media that says this experience is really priceless. It's really not about going out and buying a $1,500 or $3,000 bag and, you know, some shoes. That's a material possession that is temporary to change your life. So I just hope that women will realize that the cost is minimal compared to what you will end up receiving, because you'll make a whole lot more money when you learn these practices. These will never have to be an issue for you. Now I changed my internet service. I can't take it anymore. This is every Friday.
Yeah, you got frozen for a minute, but But there is so much gold in what you said, because how much is your joy worth? How much is your wholeness worth?
Yes.
Right? How much is living into your
Yes.
purpose? How much is that worth? Right? So you have to invest in yourself, and you have to put that investment in a place that's going to give you big dividends. And this is the environment for that. This is the place where you get all these seeds planted into you so that you can take them into your life and bear fruit. How much is that worth? How much is it worth to have some practices so you're not stressed out and tired, exhausted? Some people I've had students that have compassion fatigue, right? You've given so much that you're empty. So this is a place to fill your cup.
Yes.
Because we pour out every day. You pour out every day. Right?
You can't pour from an
so
empty
where
cup.
do we get the right? So where do we get the notion that we shouldn't fill our cup, that we shouldn't place a priority on ourselves and filling our cup? And as Wayne Dyer used to say, not dying with our music still in us. Get that music out. And what you said too is so at the core of my practice, which is I want to empower and inspire people to action, because we live in a polarized world and we need people to step up in their power and take their place as leaders, as activists, as change agents to make this a better world. Now is the time. And that doesn't mean everybody's on a picket line, right? That's good for some. That's where I started, right? When I was 4, right? On a picket line, and learned so much from that. But some of us are the people who write the checks. Some of us are the people who have a piece of the puzzle where there is an idea you have that fits in. Some of us have solutions based on our experiences that can be the key to changing things. Now is the time for us to be in our full power so we can affect change and not just let it affect us.
Yes. Now is the time for us to be in our full power so we can affect change and not let change affect us. Wow.
Well, now change is going to affect you.
I don't think I've heard it anywhere.
But change is going to affect you. But how do you deal with it? When you're in your wholeness and your power, it doesn't knock you over like it used to, right? You have more clarity. You can get yourself back in action. Like my mother used to tell me all the time, you have to have some practices in place so the world doesn't throw you off your square.
Yes.
Right? But when you have those practices, let's say that those things will affect you, but then you can react from a different place.
Yes.
Right? A place to make things happen. A place to make yourself proud. A place to make your community proud. Right? A place to leave a legacy that you were here and God gave you an assignment, because we all got one. And I'm telling you, even if you sleep on the street, it's still there. And your gifts are still there. I'm going to tell you, I know that firsthand. I know people who have been through life's worst circumstances. But when you help them turn that light back on, right? So they see themselves fully and in a different way, then they propel themselves into action. And the first thing they want to do is help somebody that's been through what they've been through.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
Yes.
We need people to take their rightful place, whatever that is for you. And the only person who knows that is you. But, add to humanity.
Yeah.
Add to your community in the way that you know in your belly is for you. That thing you say all the time, that one day, someday, right? That you begin to act on it today, because, Twyler, the older I get, the more I realize how short life is.
Yes.
So now is the time to be in action. But be in action from a place that supports you and connected to a community that supports you.
Yes.
Which is what you've created.
Yes. Yes. Exactly what we have created. That is the I Am That Woman movement. I couldn't have said it in better words. That is why Eyvette Jones Johnson, the Changemaker Champion, is one of our speakers, our premier speaker, who's doing 2 sessions. Because you know what? We talk about the personal and professional development. You don't get that at every retreat. A lot of times they're talking about the glass ceiling and breaking the glass ceiling and the corporate climb and, what you can do in corporate America or as an entrepreneur. But you cannot be your best professional self if you're not your best personal self. So this retreat is created and it's developed to help you be the best you, so that when you do show up on your professional side, the best you is there. And so Eyvette is going to be taking us through that in her powerful session, The Psychology of Mind Power. Are you who you say you are? And that aligns right along with that narrative, because sometimes we're saying such negative thoughts about who we are. Sometimes the things that we say about ourselves are so false that we can't even get to the positive. And Eyvette, you're going to give us some tools, some resources, some information. We're going to practice some things, because to your point, this is not about women getting on stage and just doing a TEDx talk. Oh, no. No. This is about you showing up to do the work so you know how to apply the work, because we want to help you get to your next. And we all have a next. If you're in your 30s, you have a next. In your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s. My mother is coming and she's in her 80s, because she just loves being poured into and what it does. The spiritual renewal is, for the ladies who have gone in 2018, 2019, 2020, and you was like, oh, it was so rejuvenating, it was so spiritual. You all have not experienced anything yet. I'm telling you, this year's retreat, I am so excited about it. I'm excited about you. I'm excited about Latia Vaughn, who comes after you. I'm excited about our financial wellness speaker who's coming. I'm excited about our nutritional and physical wellness speakers. Valerie Tyler is joining us again, almost 80 years old, and Valerie is our fitness guru. She looks amazing. So she's going to talk about, at any age, we need to be physically fit. And at any age, we need to be concerned about what we are consuming. So we're going to talk about our nutritional and our physical well-being. And then we have Dr. Portia Lockett, who's also one of our board members. And so that Thursday, when we start our workshops, man, we are going out at the break of day in the desert right at the back of the beautiful Camelback Mountain. And we are going to do a spiritual awakening experience that is going to feed and nurture our forgiveness, because sometimes we got to start there from the heart. Where is the heart? And so we're going to meditate, we're going to do some stretching, and then we're going to do this forgiveness exercise to awaken our spiritual awakenings. And then, of course, on Friday, we're going to Sedona. And man, Eyvette, those vortexes and that spiritual wellness that we're going to get in Sedona, you guys are going to be transformed. This is transformational work. And I promise you, if you pay it and you don't get anything from it, I'll give you a full refund. But you have to be still, be quiet, and be open, and be ready to receive all that this retreat has. And I promise you, your life will never be the same. So Eyvette, in closing, what would you like to say, and how would you like to inspire and try and just tell that woman who might be on the fence about, I don't know if I can make this investment, I don't know if I should come to this, what would you say to them?
I would say that you are worth it. I would say that you are a one-of-a-kind human being, and when you're gone, there will be no other. I want to tell the folks that are coming, no matter what stage that you're in your life, that this is going to accelerate it. And you are worth it. What is the price of that? And this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's like a snowflake, right? Because this collection of speakers, the attendees that will be here, that lend their energy to this, it will never be repeated. So jump in with both feet, right? Don't wait like I used to and say in 2 years or 3 years, I'm going to change things. And you look back and 5 years later, you're at the same place. Use this as a chance to accelerate your vision, your dreams, and your life.
Yes. I love it. I love it. This is the opportunity. Do not wait, ladies. It only requires a $440 deposit. You can go to iamthatwomanmovement.org right now and register. We have payment plans. We're even looking into getting a firm so that if you can't make those payments right now, there's a payment plan for you. But I'm telling you, the $2,200 investment is priceless. The swag bag, the registration, the hospitality, the sisterhood, 12 powerful transformational sessions, daily breakfast and lunch, celebration dinner, speakers like Eyvette Jones Johnson that you do not hear from every single day. And you're not going to get the same as if you were doing a webinar. You're in the room. You're having transformation at this retreat. And there's so much more that you're going to receive. You don't have to worry about most of your meals. That's included. You don't have to worry about transportation once you get there. We're going to Sedona for the day, going to 5 different locations, spending the entire day, and have a breakfast and lunch on that Friday. We're coming back for sessions. You have time on your own. You have time to go to the spa. You have time to go golfing if you want to. Go play tennis. There's tennis courts and tennis rackets right there. And just announced, there's no daily resort fees. So you don't even have to pay the daily resort fees. It's all included. And so I hope that you guys will register now during the early bird. It's the rest of this month. It's only $2,200. We have payment plans. So trust you me. It is priceless. And you want to be there. Eyvette, I thank you, my sister. I appreciate you. I've learned so much today. I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you to be my coach. I'm like, I need this.
But you know what? Before we go, Twyla, I want to thank you, because when you hold a big vision like this to pour into women, specifically Black women, right? That's not easy. But you do it, and you do it with such heart and soul, but also such vision for what you want Black women to have. Yes. The gift of transformation in an affordable way. Yes. So I'm so honored by that. Mm-hmm. I'm so thankful that you said yes to that calling, mm-hmm. right? Because you're making a difference in the lives of all of us. So thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you. And as a collective, that's what's most important, is that God connects me with people like you who's doing this work every day. And so, and when we come together collectively, it just empowers a community. And we need empowerment in our sisterhood right now more than ever. We need empowerment. We need affirming each other. We need to take this time to restore, renew, reconnect, refocus. We need this now more than ever. So I thank you. I appreciate you keeping me in your prayers. I appreciate you saying yes. I appreciate you being a part of a collaboration and a vision that's so much bigger than me and so much bigger than you, because it's just a God doing the work that we need on this earth, on his earth. So I appreciate you, my sister. I love you with all of my heart. And I cannot wait. October 25th through the 29th. Y'all better get ready. I'm telling you, it's going to be on fire. So I know that it's going to be a great time. I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a joy to be here.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Woo! That was so good and so powerful. I had planned on saying playing a couple of testimonials. We didn't need any testimonials. If you all listened to what Eyvette said today about what she is going to be doing at the I Am That Woman retreat, and that powerful woman has 2 sessions, and you do not want to miss either one of them. If you have a vision, if you have something that God has planted in you that you know is so much bigger than yourself, and you don't have any idea how you're going to do it, I encourage you, I implore you to register for the I Am That Woman retreat today, because we are here to give you those tools, those resources, connect you with these world-renowned speakers. It's an experience that allows you to have mental, emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual growth and development. You cannot be your best professional self if you're not your best personal self. This is a unique experience that creates transformation. So, if you're ready to transform, if you are ready to go to your next, if you are ready to do the work and really be intentional about living your best life according to God's purpose, the retreat is here. You may have been praying, God, I don't know how, I don't know where, I know that I just need help. The help is right here. We are that sisterhood. We are here to help you, encourage you, and build you up. So that concludes our show. Not only do we offer the I Am That Woman retreat in October, but every day, Monday through Friday, you can join the sisterhood and a few brothers who calls in as well for the I Am That Woman morning motivation. We know the importance of starting your day in morning mindfulness. And that looks like prayer and meditation from 5:30 to 6:30 Central Time, Monday through Friday. It's just the conference call line. You don't even have to get up, put makeup on, get ready, do any of that. All you have to do is to call in at 605-313-5104. That's 605-313-5104, and the access code is 345235. It's all over our social media. I almost post about it every day, certainly every Sunday, because it's a reminder to start your day in mindfulness. And prayer and meditation is the best way to start your day. There it is, 605-313-5104. Access code 345235 Monday through Friday, 5:30 to 6:30. And again, the $2,200 for the retreat, it includes so much: your swag bag, your registration, the welcome reception, daily breakfast and lunch, dinner, the Sedona tour, the celebration dinner, the group photo. I can go on and on. The sisterhood, the camaraderie, world-renowned speakers, 12 powerful transformational sessions. It is a priceless investment. Most retreats like this might cost you anywhere between $7,000 and $10,000. So this is a small fee for everything that you are going to receive at this 5-day, 4-night, affordable luxury retreat. So come on and join us. And just in case you missed it at the beginning of the show, Here is our promotional video.